Hey, John, when you first had thoughts of selling your apartment at 100 Remsen Street, what made you call me?
Well, that was easy. I had received a flyer, beautiful glossy flyer that you'd put together some months prior, showing progress on various units in our building. And I know that our building is somewhat problematic because of the lease back situation. And I felt that from the sound of it, this is me responding to your salesmanship, but I felt that you had a good handle on that. So that was the first and foremost reason I called you. And the second was just I casually asked our doorman because he's the one who sees people coming and going, and he sees all the realtors who've come and gone over the years in the building. And I asked him who he would recommend, and your name was the first one he came up with.
Aw, that's amazing.
Hmm.
And at what point were you sure that you wanted to hire me?
Well, that was easy because when you walked into the apartment, you had the same response that so many people have had over the years, which is one of feeling at peace, away from the madding crowd, as they say, because the view of the harbor is so striking and so relaxing. And you commented on the fact that you felt your blood pressure going down.
I did.
Yeah, and we had a nice conversation about how just being in Brooklyn Heights can do that for you, coming up out of the subway after you've been in Manhattan, for instance, and coming back to Brooklyn Heights. That does it too. But then when you get into this apartment, it is such an oasis of calm.
Yeah. And how do you feel about how the process is going so far? The timeline was, I think the timeline was surprising, right? Pretty quick.
It seemed instant to me. And so I was very pleased with that. And everything has been moving along well. And, now I just have to get rid of everything.
Yeah. And would you recommend me to somebody else in the building? What would you say to somebody who was considering maybe selling their apartment?
Yeah, I would say that they would be working with the best person to represent them and what they have to sell, and someone who has a great understanding of our building and its quirks and nuances and advantages. And so I would most definitely recommend you.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate the time.
Sure.